Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ERSCA Belly Up Sports Series. Dom Santina, David Westergreen up here in the booth for the Harpoon Design 300 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are back points racing this week after taking last week off for our All-Star event. We return to the asphalt. We return to the Xfinity car here at Charlotte. David, you ready to get back? And 3 races left here till the championship to decide these point standings. You ready to see some good racing here tonight?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready for an improvement on the dirt street stocks. I think we'll leave that one in the shed and move on here to Charlotte. Fast, 1.5 mile racetrack. A lot of on-throttle time for these guys, and I think they're going to be burning up their right front tires, getting tight tonight. It's going to be a night race at Charlotte, so you know, I expect the speeds to be up even higher, the tight condition to be even worse, and Charlotte's one of those tracks that has that grip strip, so you're going to see some people running the top lane. I think that'll be the way to burn your right front off the car, but it might be fast in the short run.
One thing I want to mention too, of course, Carlos Acosta and 3 Wine TV bringing us all of our behind-the-scenes production work as well, so we thank Carlos for joining in once again here this week and bringing you the live stream action, so we appreciate all of his hard work behind the scenes. So we get ready to go to bring you this one here from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
150 laps tonight for 300 miles. At lap 75, there will be some crucial halfway points for the top 10. I think there will be a pretty decent-sized dogfight on those because our point situation right now is vitally close. I believe everyone from 4th to about 18th could be in or out at this point. It is a very, very close points race. Don't know if we have the graphic for it, but I can run down the list. We do have the graphic. It will be coming. But, yeah, from, I believe, Ryan Lutz, who has, it's from Nick Massey in 6th. There's 320 points. Jared Rexing in 18th has 281. That's a 40-point gap. It's about one race. So one race separates 6th and 18th. These guys could very well, you know, guys who are well out right now could still win a race going forward because one of our 2 races left is Daytona, and anything can happen there. But as it stands, I think these guys are going to be, here we go, fighting out very close to get into these 12 spots to get into the playoff. See, like Nick Massey and Matthew Weeks are +4 to the good. That's +4 points. So from Massey in 6th, +4, back to Rawls in 13th, 4 points. Separating 6th to 13th. That's how close our situation is right now. Just absolutely crazy. I think we're going to have to keep our eye on some of those guys, though, because I think when you're at 75 laps, that means a pit stop will have had to occur here. I think these guys are only going to be going about 60 to 55 laps, and in that case, you know, pit strategy in order to get to lap 75 could be pretty crucial, where you could pit at 50 and try to be out in front of people still at lap 75.
Yeah, and you know, David, we talked about it before we went live here. 2 races left to go after tonight, Daytona and Indy. So, you know, Daytona's always a wild card, and especially for those guys from 6th to 18th where you need points, but you can be caught up in a big wreck or taken out when you're not expecting it. So that can really change things up next week for sure.
Yeah, and Daytona can be, you know, that wild card type race. So you really want to get that win, get yourself close to locked in. But right now, we have 2 guys on you know, in those wild card spots, in Scott Crump and Jared Mogard, who are not in the top 10 in points. So, you know, you have to beat multiple people for that wild card spot if you do happen to win a race. If you're someone like Josh Adams, who has, you know, rebounded a little bit since we switched to this Xfinity car, but he would need a win at Daytona essentially to get in. And you know, Adams has been just cruelly unlucky this season. You know, other guys who might be able to race their way in, I'm thinking of like Cooper Johnson, maybe Vincent Isabella. They'd have to win a race, but they're not strangers to that in this Xfinity car. And you know, Dylan Thomas is another one. He was a chaser last year. Could have made it this year, but he's simply not been nearly as competitive as he was last season.
All right, we are in the middle of practice, or sorry, in the start of qualifying now as we've moved on from our practice session. Got a few cars on track right now. Nick Massey, one of them. Joe Francis tops the chart, and as I say that, got a couple cars jumping up above him. Kwame Scott had it for about a millisecond before Chad Bear goes to the top with a 30.64. And now Jared Rexing goes to number 1. There's about 12 cars have taken qualifying time. And that's going to obviously keep changing around here as we get more cars on track. Joe Francis to the top now with a 30.57. Andy Trupiano sneaking in there into second.
You know, we saw Nick Massey, and he is not anywhere near the top of the board right now after making his run. I am considerably worried about that 48 car. After only four, after all these kind of mediocre races for Nick Massey, he has really fallen back, and he's now 4 points to the good in that chase. If Massey has another weak run today, you can look on the 2020 ERSCA champion being the first guy, one of those first guys out of the playoffs.
Jared Mogart's put himself into the 3rd position. With a good qualifying run. Right now we're looking at Cameron Rich out on track.
Marcus Adams just went to top of the board just over Scott Crump. Adams, I believe, filling in for Josh of the same name in the 95. Haven't seen Ryan Lutz take time yet. That's definitely a pull threat. Matthew Bayuk, top of the board in the 29 car for Shift Esports. He was a chaser last year, and he's seen a lot of the kind of stuff that was going his teammate and Nick Indelicato's way last year turn to him. Indelicato was very unlucky last year, didn't even win a race. This year, he's kind of been the head of that Shift Esports stable. Bayuk been a little bit more on the back burner in terms of results. Here's Vincent Isabella. Tate Lytle just jumped into the top 10, so did Damian Leininger. Ryan Lutz. Matthew Boston Beers, top of the board in the 64, knocking Bayuk from it. Beers runs a 5:01. Let's see what Lutz can do on a second lap if we get the stream back. Lutz comes to the line, and I don't think he made it in time. Lutz doesn't start his qualifying run in time. He'll only get his first lap in. Lutz will start 22nd. Austin Beers is the pole winner. Haven't seen much from Beers this season. He was started with us in the COT car, but has kind of missed some races. I know he's got some obligations to the Whelen Modified Series.
Matthew Bayuk going to start on the outside of that front row. Marcus Adams, Scott Crump, Cameron Rich will round out your top 5. Joe Francis, Wesley Crump. Tate Lytle will join Crump in row number 4, and row number 5 will be Andy Trupiano and Jared Mogard.
Peter and Leininger outside the top 12. Let's look through the field, point out some of those notable guys. In this second group, Ryan Lutz there in 22nd. Matthew Weeks in 14th, or I believe 15th even. He needs to win a race. He is certainly not locked in by any means, though he is currently in the playoff. Hank Steinmiller there in 20th. Our Auto Club winner does have that to fall back on. Kwame Scott, 23rd. He had won, I think, 3 poles in a row coming into this week.
How about that, though? Ryan Lutz, Kwame Scott, 2 of your top 3 in the points, sitting right there, right behind each other off the start.
And there's another guy, Nick Indelicato, 26th on the grid starting out, and he is right there in the top 5 in points with Lutz and Kwame Scott. Ethan Burrell there as well in 27th. Another guy who is, one of those top in the points guys. So this race really could be one to shake up that very tight points battle, unless these guys are able to pick their way through the field. And then Nick Massey, 35th, just absolutely crazy in terms of the kind of drop-off we've seen from Massey. I'm really hoping he can get it together tonight and kind of charge from the back. Chris Worrell was fastest in practice. His start 36th on the grid today. A little bit surprising that that car wasn't able to muster up a little more speed, though he may be going for that last to first challenge money that ERSCA offers in every race. We are rolling here at Charlotte. Quick review of that. If the car that turns the slowest lap goes and wins the race, Johnny Thomas has offered a monetary bonus to that car. Chris Worrell was not the slowest car to take a lap. That was Josh Clark, so I believe Clark will be eligible for that. Race picks. It's time. My turn to go first? It might be.
Sure, why not? Go ahead.
Why not? I will take Austin Beers from the pole.
All right. Do we want to let Carlos go second?
Yeah, give Carlos his pick.
Mike is hot. I'm gonna go ahead. Who did you choose?
Austin Beers.
I'll choose Bayuk.
Whoa!
Oh, all right.
That leaves Cameron Rich for you, Dom. You taking him?
I thought about it, but I'm going to go Scott Crump. We'll let Cameron off the hook this week and see what he can do with nobody choosing him.
Scott Crump would get 2 in a row if he got there. Won the last points race at Michigan. Green flag for Austin Beers. We are underway at Charlotte in the Harpoon Design 300.
Side-by-side battle here for the second position. Bayuk and Adams. Looks like Bayuk might have it down the back stretch. And we'll slot into that second position. Adams will tuck into third, Crump fourth, Rich fifth.
Seeing some major internet spikes there. But for now, he's all right. He's under fire from Cameron Rich, and the similarly painted 47 and 56 cars nose to tail for 5th and 6th. That's Rich in the 47, Tate Lytle in the 56. I think both of them are going to be competitive tonight, potentially challengers for this race win.
Might be a big night for Tate here if he can get up and lead this group. He hasn't got a win yet this season. He's been close a couple times, but hasn't got up there and actually claimed a win yet.
Yeah, and I think Tate Lytle absolutely has the pace to win this race. And what you're going to look out for from that 56 car is tire saving, conserving, and being fast in the long green flag runs. I think that's where Tate really shines at these types of racetracks. And, he's definitely one of those guys. We didn't pick him, but Tate's definitely the one, maybe one of the most important ones to watch out for going forward. That and the progress of that 36 car Ryan Lutz. We've seen him win races at Charlotte with toying with the competition and just completely obliterating them. Lutz, if he can get that track position and get up to the front all clean, he'll be a threat to win for sure. Up to 15th already. We're seeing a lot of people filing to the bottom, but occasionally somebody will jump to the top and make a pass. That seems to be the way Charlotte rolls. The bottom is the way to save the tires. The top is the way to, defend your position. Battle in here for, I believe that's 10th between Hank Steinmiller and Andy Trupiano. Just behind them, Matthew Weeks and Ryan Lutz do battle. They are the ones who made contact at the end of the Michigan race, which handed the win to Scott Crump. Joe Francis also side by side with Wesley Crump. I believe the older Crump brother, if I am correct on that. And Lutz clears Weeks. No hard feelings between the two of them, by the way. Ryan Lutz and Matthew Weeks noted that it was netcode that brought them together, and Ryan Lutz had been running close to people all race long, so certainly no intent on that part of the 36 car to cost himself and Matthew Weeks the race win. Have to have a battle for the lead here.
Here comes Bayuk to the outside of Beers. 6 laps in here. He's got to the outside. Couldn't quite hold it out of 4. Coming to the line. Half a car. Austin Beers will lead lap number 6.
What I know about Austin Beers is he's a short track guy, so he likes to run that car as hard as he can all race long. Comes from shorter races, and he's got to go, 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 go. And it's really good in the short run. Beers has a lot of speed, but he is really throwing that car into the corner. And I think eventually that may come back to bite this 64 as he clears Matthew Bayuk back for the lead. Bayuk cuts underneath.
Bayuk on the attack now. Here he goes to the inside. Maybe got to prefer the line here on the bottom now.
Beers will defend that spot from the outside as well. So a tough battle for the lead. Austin Beers not willing to relinquish it just yet. They're doing this and pulling away from Marcus Adams. The two of them are driving really hard right now. At the line, it'll still be Austin Beers. Holding back Matthew Bayuk, though, running the top like this and in this intense battle cannot be good for those tires. We might see Beers fall back kind of like a rock here after this this battle kind of concludes as Bayuk starts to inch forward on the bottom. Great racing here, but Bayuk struggling to clear that 19 car, or he's usually the 19, the 64 car. And he won't do it. Austin Beers holds off Bayuk for the lead. Ryan Lutz update. He's right where he was in that 36. He has not moved forward at all since earlier in this race. One of the cars out of it so far, Gerald Campbell, has hit the wall and retired. In the 31, that'll pretty much take him out of chase contention. Also way in the back, Jared Rexing, 20 seconds off the pace. So tough break early for another one of our bubble drivers and chase hopefuls. After wrecking at Michigan, Rexing definitely needed a good run. He's not having it so far tonight. Battle for 10th, Damian Leininger going after Hank Steinmiller. Sorry, that is 11th.
Yeah, David, and it's not just Ryan Lutz, it's the rest of the guys too. Kwame hasn't really gone anywhere, and then Delicado's still stuck back there as well, so is Burrell. They're really not going anywhere right now.
Very strange. Burrell does pass Trey Holmes for 25th just now, so yeah, a lot of these guys, there's a big gap from Indelicato forward. Not sure what, maybe Indelicato just doesn't like the setup. Something about this race just not fitting with the style of some of these guys. And it's fitting the style of Austin Beers, Matthew Bayuk, Scott Crumps up here in the top 5. Here comes Cameron Rich underneath him. Tate Lytle right here as well. Been impressed with Beers, my pick, and been able to hold the lead here. But in so battling Matthew Bayuk, he has really allowed Marcus Adams to reel in, and Scott Crump, Cameron Rich, Tate Lytle, they're right behind. Lytle going after Cameron Rich. Here comes Adams, not going to be able to clear Bayuk. Not even be able to get it side by side with them. They'll remain single file in turn 1. And Lytle might clear Cameron Rich off the corner. No. It seems like it's very difficult to pass. Tate does just now clear Rich for 5th.
Do you think that's something that as they get a little bit of tire wear on this track, it might change a little bit, or you think you see that continuing throughout the night?
I have a hunch that it'll continue throughout the night. I think Charlotte's one of these tracks that you can really not pass. It'll be very difficult to move forward. Chris Worrell, fastest car in practice, has gone from 36th to 30th in this race. So it is just a slog in traffic. Very difficult to complete a pass. You can run the top, you can run the bottom. And I think we'll see some comers and goers on the tires, but I don't think it'll be very substantial given that it's nighttime. The track's already significantly cooler than it otherwise would be. Only 84 degrees on the track temp. It's absolutely allowing for a much tighter car and much more aggressive throttle input by these guys. Wesley Crump heading backwards, lost a spot to Leininger, now losing a spot to Steinmiller, now to Lutz. Here comes Mark Whitley, and now Lutz trying to cut underneath Steinmiller. Up front, battle for third. Scott Crump's going after Marcus Adams. Man, almost door banged going into turn one, but I think give it to Scott Crump. Adams quickly kind of falling back. Here comes Tate Lytle. Just that quick twitch of motion up the track from Crump caused Adams to run that first corner a little bit too high, and he lost 2 spots because of it. I think this 51 and 56 have saved their tires. They're starting to move forward now. Here comes Scott Crump to the inside again of Matthew Bayuk.
Good battle here for second. Crump dives inside. I think he's got it. Lytle going to try to follow him through.
Austin Beers has kind of stretched a lead out here, half a second to back to Scott Crump here. Tate Lytle's another 10th and a half behind, but I think the 51 and 56 are the ones moving forward right now. Those guys have saved their tires, and this is a very typical Tate Lytle type of race, tight race car, and just he's going to wait for his opportunity to pounce in these runs. That's what Tate Lytle does. He's good in the long run, 20 laps and longer. Exactly what Tate Lytle's looking for. Josh Robin on pit road in the 8 car.
2 guys that have been the biggest movers of the race so far, Hank Steinmiller and Ryan Lutz. Steinmiller's up 9 spots, about to be up 8, because here comes Ryan Lutz for the 11th position.
Lutz is definitely a threat for this race win later on. Lutz is just going to need that track position. He's been able to carve through the field up to 11th, but can he keep going without damaging that car? Whitley about ran into Steinmiller there in turn 3. That was almost an accident. Whitley trying to follow Lutz through.
I think Lutz is maybe one, if the only car that has really done a good job of being able to make his way through and get around these guys so far, 20 laps in.
Yeah, updated for Kwame Scott. He has gone from 23rd up to 17th, but not much else. 3 wide just behind. Garen Turner, Vincent Isabella. That battle sorts itself out. Dylan Thomas going to go around Isabella up top. That's a snarling pack of cars, including Richard Lafferty. We haven't seen him much all year. And Ethan Burrell is in this pack as well. He's up to 24th, just in front of Nick and Delicato.
There's Matthew Weeks as well. Focusing in on the 11 car right there. Side-by-side battle here. Austin Beers, Matthew Bayuk. So it's Adams and Bayuk. This is for the 4th position. Cameron Rich right behind him as well. This is for the race lead. Scott Crump, Tate Lytle have closed in on your race leader. Austin Beers, he now has a rear view mirror full of Scott Crump. Here he comes to the inside through 3 and 4. He'll dive underneath. Contact! Beers gets into the wall. He's going to open up the door for Lytle. Here comes Lytle with the run to the finish line. Tate Lytle going to take the lap there. He'll lead lap number 24. Door is open. Lytle goes through, and now he's going to try to check out here from Scott Crump. car view here. Tate Lytle, your race leader. As Dave and I were talking about, Tate just needed one little break to get up front here and maybe get himself his first win of the season, and this might be it. He's out front. Scott got into Austin Beers there, opened the door. He came sliding through. Crump into second. Beers has fallen off the pace a little bit now. Lost touch with these front two, and he's going to start to fall back maybe to Bayuk, who might be slipping back as well. Adams was not able to get by Bayuk, so he'll sit back there in the 5th position. Cameron Rich 6th, Joe Francis 7th, Andy Trupiano in 8th, Jared Mogard 9th, and Ryan Lutz has now cracked the top 10. So we mentioned it a few minutes ago. That 36 is on the move, and it's a little bit slow, but he is coming. He started back in 22nd and is up to the top 10 now. So top 10 kind of quiet for the time being. Not too much going on now as everyone's kind of settled in. We got a battle back here between Lutz and Mogard for the 9th and 10th position. Whitley, as we were watching earlier, was following Lutz through, and he's continuing to do so as he's going to try to go after Jared Mogard as well. Lutz got the inside position here, and it looks like he will clear up ahead of Mogard. That'll give him the 9th spot. Whitley going to try to take the 10th spot, and he will do as well. He's actually going to go after Ryan Lutz. Trying to go 2 for 1 here. He's going to take a look to the inside. We'll see if he can get the run out of the corner. Try to take 9th spot away from Ryan Lutz. A little bit of slight contact. We now have 29 laps on the board. And there it is. Whitley will take 9th from Ryan Lutz. Move Lutz back to the top, out the final spot in the top 10. Hank Steinmiller trying to get in the mix as well. And here comes Ryan Lutz right back after Whitley as we look through the field. Pretty single file after this battle back there as well. There's a battle with Nick and Delicato right now, who's still kind of stuck outside that top 20. He just got around Vincent Isabella, and that is the 22nd position. Dylan Thomas and Ethan Burrell are right in front of him. Ethan has got around Nick. He started back in 27th, so he's cracked the top 20 now, and we'll see how the 37 can climb through the field. Kwame Scott is just a couple positions ahead of him in the 99. He is sitting in 17th. We talked about him a few laps ago. Hasn't really made any more progress since then.
I'm real surprised that Kwame Scott hasn't been able to move forward like Ryan Lutz, and maybe even like Ethan Burrell, who's come up from 27th to 20th. We just haven't seen that same level of progress from Kwame. He's been stuck right there the whole time, and I know Kwame's battling with some illness right now tonight, but I think I just expected a little more performance, and I think probably that illness is what's kind of hindering him a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was expecting him to at least pick up a spot or two there. I think we went about 10 laps or so since the last time we talked about him, and still nowhere to go. I think Ryan Lutz has kind of hit a little bit of a stopgap here too, as he's kind of stuck in that 10th place spot after Whitley got by him. We'll see. Ethan's on the move. We'll see if he can kind of get up here slowly as the day goes on. If you think you're someone like Kwame there, David, does that maybe change up your strategy that you had coming in pre-race to now that you're stuck back here deep in the field to change something up and try to get yourself some track position?
Yeah, I think so. I think it means, you know, when you're, especially when you're locked in, kind of like Kwame is, you're going to be able to take some risks. And why not, you know, go for a big swing at a short pit, or going really long, or trying to save fuel and stretch it into a 2-stop race versus a 3-stop race. Tate Lytle just got extremely loose while leading. Caught my eye on the side of the screen. But you know, I would say swing for the fences here. You have nothing to lose if you're Kwame Scott. There's almost no way you can, I think there is no way Kwame can fall out of the top 12 with 3 wins. So it's just a matter of him putting together some races that give him an opportunity to pick up those additional bonus points here entering the playoff and the chase. Tate's driving it really hard. You can see him getting a little bit sideways off the corners, and he is pulling away from Scott Crump. Tate Lytle is laying down some real heater lap times right now.
Yeah, he's put the gap out over a second over Scott Crump, and it's about another second or so back to Austin Beers, who still hasn't fallen to the wayside of Bayuk, but Bayuk has lost a couple positions here. Cameron Rich finally got around him. Joe Francis trying to get to the inside right now. This would give Francis a top 5 spot. Looks like he's going to have it out of the corner.
Impressive run for Joe Francis. You know, we haven't seen a whole lot of him up here in the top group. He won at Talladega last season, but, you know, overall, I think he's been a little bit quieter in terms of having a season so far. Been pretty unlucky, kind of on the fringe of being able to make the chase, and Francis is definitely one of these guys we're going to have to watch out for moving forward, because that 50 car is, you know, kind of going up, and he's a, you know, a plate track wizard. He did win one of our races at the plate tracks last year, so he's one to look out for if you're one of those guys with a wild card spot, or at least are on the bubble right now.
Andy Trupiano right there too. He's looking to try to get around Matthew Bayou. Came to the high side of that time. Couldn't quite get the run to the inside. He sits in 7th. Adams has fallen all the way back to the 8th position. Oh, contact there. Bayuk and Trupiano, and they're going to lose at least a spot or two here.
This is still a wild battle, side by side between Trupiano and Adams. Whitley and Lutz right behind. This could be an incident if these guys don't keep it careful, and Bayuk is going to short pit and go for broke here.
Hopefully he got it slowed up in time there. He's coming down with quite a bit of speed. Let's see what the interesting call there. Maybe knowing he lost quite a few spots in the last few laps, decided to come down and get some fresh tires, see if he can make a difference.
Yeah, it's a big short pit, though. I don't know if that's going to be the play. He will gain a lot of time on these guys when he gets back out there, but they're going to eat him back up in the long run. The question for Matthew Bayuk is, does this early pit allow him to stay out front until lap 75? I don't know that it will, but it might get him into the top 10, where he might have been falling back out of the top 10 by the time you know, pit stops rolled around for real, around lap 50 or 55.
Real question is, does that convince anyone else to come? I know you said it's really early, but does anyone else try the same thing?
I tend to like to stay out, you know, stay out as long as you can, especially because what if we get the caution? You know, we saw some contact, we saw some close racing. Caution could come out, and you do not want to be trapped a lap or more down when that caution does fly. So Bayuk now has been relegated to 39th, 1 lap down. And if the caution were to come out now, he'd be okay because he would get the lucky dog. But what about when Tate Lytle starts lapping some of the cars in the back of the field here? You know, Jared Rexing is not that far out in front of Tate. So, you know, that could very well occur soon. But, you know, more importantly is, you know, being 39th after the lucky dog, after everyone else gets to come take tires in front of you, that's a net loss of, what, 35 spots? Something like that. Cameron Rich to 3rd around Austin Beers.
Rich on the move here now. Now we've got into a little bit of a green flag run. 42 laps now on the board.
I am beyond impressed with Tate Lytle. He's gone out and put 2 seconds on Scott Crump. The tire saving that 56 car did early in this run has really paid dividends. He is now, you know, cashing in what he deposited at the bank early in this run and just pulling away. Some guys falling back, Damian Leininger. Marcus Adams, among others. Wesley Crump has fallen all the way to 21st from 7th starting spot.
And with that, you know, we talked about some drivers coming and going a little bit. Kwame Scott up to 13th now. Might have been saving tires a little bit, but he's on the move, and he's looking to crack the top 10.
Yep. Another one that's coming through the field a little bit here is, you know, Nick and Delicato and Ethan Burrell both. They're into the top 20, but another one that caught my eye, Chris Worrell is up to 20th and 36th. And Now, like I said, he's got top practice speed right there in that 06 car, so that's the car that can get around this racetrack and can do it really quickly. But I don't know if anybody's catching tail idle right now. He's got a 10th on the field every lap.
Yeah, he's got that 56 car set up. I wonder how much Scott might have hurt his tires just a bit getting into Beers when he went for the pass for the lead. Overcooked the corner a little bit. I don't know if it hurt him too much, but it might have done a little bit more to his tires when he was already pushing to try to get to that race lead. And now Tate has just set sail on the rest of the pack here. There's Rexing coming down pit road. Or Rawls, sorry, Seth Rawls coming down pit road.
Had a bit of an incident. Vincent Isabella short pitted as well as Seth Rawls is short pitted. Isabella short pitted, and coming off pit road, he got clobbered by Harrison Talon. Bunch of rear end damage to that 15 car. Not sure what that's all about. Here's a couple of guys who really need a good run. Andy Trupiano, Matthew Weeks. The two of them really needing to get into this playoff hunt with a strong run tonight. Here's another guy who needs a good run, Nick Massey, back in 20th, and that's after picking up several spots due to guys pitting for the short pit strategy. Massey's good at saving tire, but I mean, he started out 35th. He has not moved forward, nearly as much as some of his peers that started down there. Chris Morell's moved past him, and Delicato's ahead of him.
Kyle Hanshaw coming down pit road there. So we're starting to see quite a few.
You're looking at the difference between fresh and old tires as Bayuk jumps underneath Hank Steinmiller, and you'll just watch this 29 car start carving through these guys. The issue for Bayuk is that he can't run those flat-out fast laps that you would otherwise be able to run on those fresh tires. Bayuk is having to deal with this traffic. He just had to check up right there for Chad Bear. That's going to allow these guys to make that time up, especially guys like Tate Lytle, who can run really quickly without, being in that traffic. Bayuk having to deal with that is hurting his ability to gain on the leaders. This is something that I ran into recently, at Dover. We pitted a little bit early before everybody else, and what happens is, you start running in this big pack of cars, like you see right here, all of a sudden you got to check up for them, and you're not able to turn those laps and make the best use of those tires on that short pit strategy that Matthew Bayuk is on. Now, Bayuk's most important thing is going to be to get in front of the race leader. As soon as he does that, he's going to be clean and set sail, but for now, it's risky business to be battling through this field and losing time ultimately to race leader Tate Lytle.
All right, so we saw a couple cars come down pit road there just a few laps ago. That roughly puts them on schedule for making this a two-stop race. Would you assume pretty much everyone else out here, David's looking to make it a one-stop race and split this race right in half?
You got to be able to make it. These guys are about 5 to 10 laps from pitting, maybe 15 laps from pitting. It depends on how long it went, but historically I've seen 55 to 60 laps at Charlotte. I think that's probably about what we're going to expect for this, for this race, and that means it will be a two-stop race for everybody. The question will be, those guys who short pitted like Matthew Bayuk, is he trying to do a three-stop strategy? I don't think that's going to work. I think you need to have two stops, and so we'll have to see how long Bayuk can go. Here comes some of these guys starting to come down pit road. This is normal time frame. Cameron Rich, Andy Trupiano trying to be the first one on pit road, and I tell you what, in a race like this, I want to be the last one on pit road, the one with the freshest tires at the end of the run. Worth noting that it's very easy though, because Cameron Rich might get out in a good spot on the racetrack, and if he can do that, he might be able to pick up a ton of time on some of these other guys who come out like Matthew Bayuk did, stuck in traffic. So here comes Chad Bear to pit road, as well as Mark Whitley. Delicado down pit road as well. Dylan Thomas down pit road on the bottom. It is pit stops time. And Ryan Lutz is going around to Austin Beers for that fourth position. Oh, Lutz hit the apron, almost crashed Beers. That was risky.
Tate Lytle has just absolutely set sail. 3.5 seconds over Scott Crump right now.
Looking at the door of this 36 car, I think there's some damage on it. I think Ryan Lutz might have gotten hit in the right rear quarter panel. That baby might not be singing as loud as she normally does. Also, just a change for second place, Joe Francis has motored through this field on the long run. That 50 car saved its tires well. Joe Francis up to second.
We'll see if he can eat into Tate Lytle's lead here, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Lytle has just put a blistering pace on the field here so far.
Bike is running Tate down right now, and that would be the first car on tires once everything settles out. And it really is all about when you came down pit road. Right now, Vincent Isabella is the second car on tires, and he was the second car down pit road. So, but those guys are going to be absolutely hurting for tires when we come up on the halfway stage here. Not 55, so I'm thinking about 60-ish is when these guys are going to need to come down pit road. Tate Lytle's running it long. You know, Joe Francis is running it long. Ryan Lutz likes to run it long. For moments like this,
Here comes
why.
Bayuk's going to come unlap himself right now. He just blew by Tate Lytle.
And good timing, too, because on the screen, man, Vincent Isabella all over Ethan Burrell. Chris Worrell pits in front of him. Isabella and Rawls on fresh tires go flying by Ethan Burrell, almost causing a wreck. And that it's so easy to happen. If you're Mark Whitley, if you're Andy Trupiano, Seth Rawls, Matthew Bayuk, you do not want this thing to have a caution. Although Bayuk might be okay. It would trap some of his closest competitors a lap down. He'd still be on the lead lap. He would be only 27th, or 24th now, instead of 39th. So for Bayuk, this has worked out well so far. Look at the speed of fresh tires, man. Steinmiller, Whitley, they have fresh tires. Beers and Heater do not.
Cooper Johnson. He's coming down pit road now.
Car's falling off a little bit for this Austin Beers car. The pole sitters.
Oh, contact the wrecking.
Kwame Scott is around. Andy Trupiano hard in the wall. Scott's got heavy damage, and Delicato has heavy damage. Heater, Isabella, Marcus Adams, Whitley, Massey. Nick Delicato and Trupiano have immediately retired from the race. A huge wreck, and we knew it was possible. And then Trupiano got Isabella, who got into Kwame Scott. Did Austin Beers clear through this? He did. What a move for Beers.
I think Whitley gives them the initial tap right here. Right? They might have checked up a little bit. Maybe not.
I don't think so.
No,
I think
he just got
a little squirrely.
Yep, I agree.
We're going to have to go on board with Austin Beers there, Carlos. I think Massey slowed up. I think Massey missed this completely. I think Massey's okay. We will definitely have to get it on board with that 64 car. My goodness. Trapped a lap down as we go on board with Beers. Trapped a lap down are Cameron Rich, who got the lucky dog. Here, let's watch the wreck here. There it is, spinning. There's a whole opening right there. Woo! Made it through. Trapped lap down. Hank Steinmiller, Mark Whitley, Damian Leininger, James Heater. He got damage in the wreck. So did Isabella. Jared Mogard's 2 laps down. Some guys are going to be able to get the wave around because everybody came down pit road, but a very, very nasty wreck here on the back straightaway. But Marcus Adams getting into it here. He was in the top 5 for most of the day. I think he might have been able to save it from getting into any contact. This is interesting too because Heater and Beers were side by side. Heater goes to brake and slow up for it and just nowhere to go. Right into the door of Kwame Scott. Dylan Thomas was trapped a lap down. Chad Bear was trapped a lap down. Chris Worrell was trapped a lap down. Tate Lytle won the race off pit road over Joe Francis, Matthew Weeks, Ryan Lutz, and Nick Massey, who is all of a sudden up to 5th. Austin Beers lost a couple of spots on pit road, presumably to change his pants. Trying to see if Beers is on here. He is. I want to talk to him. That was a pretty good move. Austin Beers, it's David in the booth. You got me?
I got you, loud and clear.
Austin, how'd you get through that wreck, man?
No idea. Lane opened up, I hit the throttle.
Good job, man. That was pretty good. I picked you tonight, so hope you do well. You've run the top 5 for the most part. You got anything for Tate on the long run here?
I don't know. I don't know how to save my tires on this. I have no clue. So I'm trying my best. You know, don't know how I qualified like that, but you know, I'm just having a good time tonight. So hopefully we have a good finish here.
Oh, sounds good, man. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Austin Beers, pole sitter, and wreck dodger. Looking through the running order right now, and it's very jumbled up because some of these guys, like Beers, may have come down and tried to fix some damage. Matthew Bayuk's up to 14th now. He kind of gains from this caution. Jared Rexing was 40th at one point, well behind the field. Rexing is 13th. Michael Goodman is now 11th. Wyatt Nadel's in the top 10. Ethan Burrell is in the top 10, and Burrell has damage. But not that much. I think he's okay. Cameron Rich is going to be on old tires because he waved around. Seth Rawls is going to be on old tires. Cooper Johnson's going to be on older tires. Those guys are just going to need a quick caution in order to catch back up. Johnny Thomas on the lead lap. He's in 15th.
All right, let's see what Johnny can do. There he is in the 83 car.
Very interesting. You know, we set up the long, you know, oh man, Wesley Crump's losing time. He's 6th. Yes, Cameron Rich did get the lucky knock. I think Ethan Burrell actually got stopped and did not get in that wreck. I think that 37 car is fresh. It does not look damaged. Also in the top 10, Robert Hill in 7th. And the amount of cars waving around is kind of clear here. You can see just how many are going to be going around. Only about 20 cars or so right now in this group. Maybe Ryan Lutz has something for Tate Lytle here. I would be willing to bet if he has anything, he's going to be showing it by lap 75. Pace car's in. Tate goes. Matthew Weeks, his teammate, goes with him, and he will likely clear Joe Francis by turn 1. Francis blocks Lutz to the bottom. Bayuk, the one on the charge in the back of the field. Ethan Burrell also challenging Wesley Crump. He'll have to back out of there. Oh, Scott Crump's around. No, maybe not. He saved it.
He did save it, indeed. 51 car stays straight. Johnny Thomas making the pass through the grass here, trying to
Thomas just went through the grass. Cameron Rich is in a hornet's nest right now.
Austin Beers in the middle of that as well.
Beers going 3 wide. He and Crump. Oh, man. Beers and Crump trying to wreck each other here in turn 3. All behind Johnny Thomas, who just took a pass through the grass after Scott Crump almost spun.
We're gonna go 2 by 2 now as Rich pokes his nose into the mix.
Split up almost. Got Johnny Thomas, got hooked into the wall. He'll clear. Here comes Cameron Rich to the bottom. Great battle right here for about 13th on the board.
Johnny's going to lose out on a couple positions here. Here comes Rich by. Now Beer's going to come by as well.
battle up front here. As this one calms down just a touch, Ryan Lutz going after Joe Francis for third. And they are all over the back bumper of Matthew Weeks for second. In fact, Francis sends it to the top. He'll go after Weeks for second.
It would be big here for Ryan Lutz to pick up as many points as he can right now with Scott having trouble and Delicato having trouble. Could be a big night here for Ryan Lutz.
See, up to fifth. The money's starting to get close. Nick Massey's starting to come to the front. He's had some pretty lackluster weeks the past couple of times out, but Massey's finally on board. Here comes Lutz underneath Weeks. I think it's the switch back to the old silver and red for Nick Massey. I don't think the other paint schemes were really working out for him. I think he needed this silver and red car to be fast. He just had to get Ryan Lutz up right there in that corner. He was faster.
He just had to remind himself, too, during that caution that he was driving this one because he was struggling a little bit in the back. Now he's out front, and he's like, oh, I'm back in my comfortable position.
Ethan Burrell also back in a comfortable position. He takes over to the fifth place from Matthew Weeks. So a couple, really three guys we kind of mentioned at the start of the show that were, a little bit questionable tonight. Ryan Lutz, 22nd place qualifying run. Massey in the back, and Burrell in the back. All three of them here in the top five at money time before lap 75 when the points are on the line.
Besides Joe Francis, are we back in 2021? Because these are kind of our 4 or 5 guys from last year that were always running up towards the front. Tate, Ryan, Nick, Ethan, and Matthew would be up here from time to time as well.
Here comes Burrell. He went under Massey, but Massey fires back on the outside now, going for third on Lutz. Massey at the line. I think he got Lutz at the line. He sure did. But the outside lane, not the lane for the tire saving. Even in all this battling, these guys have caught in Joe Francis and are really fighting hard to get up to the second spot behind Tate Lytle. I don't know if anybody has anything for that 56 car tonight, but as many points as you can get coming into this lap 75 stage, that's going to be huge for the points battle going forward. Joe Francis is maybe the biggest beneficiary of that, as well as Tate Lytle, really. But Francis could really use those points in his battle to get into the bubble positions.
And while this battle's been going on for third, it has drawn them right up on the back of Joe Francis, where they might actually have a chance to get 2 for 1 here as Massey got that spot away from Lutz. Now he's going to be right on the bumper of Francis to try to take that second spot away.
Where did this come from Nick Massey, man? He has been languishing in the back of the field all race long. Now he's challenging Joe Francis for second. Massey to the bottom. Francis up top. Couple of guys who haven't won a race this season. Francis just kind of gives it away to Nick Massey, but here comes Ryan Lutz trying to take advantage.
Where did it come from? It's go time. We're almost halfway through 3 races to the chase. Massey knows he needs a big run. He needs some help. Contact! Joe Francis keeps it straight. Lutz comes up, but Lutz got him right in that left corner panel and almost spun him across down the backstretch.
Are still trying to wreck. That was save of the year. That was Joe Francis just made the save of the year. They're still going to wreck.
Lutz to the wall.
Oh, and he gets
He's
Weeks.
around. Lutz into the wall. Weeks comes up and gets Mogard, maybe?
Nadel spins off the bumper of Lutz. Oh my goodness. Weeks did come up and run into somebody. Oh, and it was Wesley Crump that got hit by Weeks coming back up. I don't know if Crump got a whole lot of damage. That was a wreck that happened, through 3 and 4 of the last corner. And Lutz just never really gathered it up. Wesley Crump not happy after watching that go down. There's Wyatt Nadel's point of view. He and Austin Beers, and Beers makes it through another one. Nadel gets caught up.
I think he's going to be okay, though.
I want to say Ethan Burrell was that kind of at the forefront of this. Yeah, got into Ryan Lutz there to start this whole thing off. It was on Ethan Burrell, and then when they come back through, I think Ethan gets into Lutz again, and that's what really sets this thing off.
Yeah, he kind of door slammed him a little bit. squeezed him up the track, and that put him into
Lutz
the
got
wall.
back into, yeah, Lutz got back into Burrell there, and if we can get back to turn three in that last lap before, that was where this wreck really started. Burrell comes down pit road here. In fact, a lot of guys came down pit road. Jared Rexing stays out. Matthew Bayuk stays out. Interesting. And those guys are going for those stage points because we're right at lap 74.
I was going to say, it's especially interesting with the fact that in a lap or so, we're going to have our points awarded. So obviously, all those guys out front must be valuing the end of race points or going for the win more than the stage points here.
Yep. Tate Lytle knows he can win this race, so he's pitting. But, you know, Jared Rexing, after last week, wrecked coming out of turn 2. Took, who did he take with him? I think Chris Worrell he took with him, and Rexing definitely, you know, not what he was looking for. But he's going to get, I think, a stage win here. Matthew Bayuk definitely needs those points to climb back into this race. He's shown he's got some pace tonight. And Josh Clark, I mean, he's on the bubble. I believe if we have that points graphic, Clark is one of those guys on the bubble, and we haven't really talked about him much all season long. Oh, no, he's not. But he's definitely down below Mark Whitley in this group, and Clark can definitely utilize those points. Steinmiller gaining points. He was one of the guys between 6th and 13th in that 4-point gap. Tate Lytle's still going to get points. But, you know, Tate's focus is on the race win here tonight. See, Jared Rexing is on. I think he is, but he'd be driving. I don't know if we want to pull him in. All right, let's do it. Jared Rexing, David in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Jared, looks like you just stole 10 points away from everybody right here. Was that kind of a calculated move for you?
Yeah, I definitely wanted the stage points. I was hoping they'd just revert to the time of caution, and I wouldn't have to be on old tires. But I think the risk is worth the reward in this case. So yeah, 10 points. I'll take it. I'll try to hold on.
Jared, I was curious. I saw you back in 40th. What happened on that first run?
Yeah, I had to start in the pits. Just technical error, and I had to start in the pits, but stayed on the lead lap, and caution came out at the right time, and I'm back in it.
All right, man. Well, if you're staying out, good luck here on them old tires.
Thank you, man.
Jared Rexing, our stage winner, and proud owner of 10 extra bonus points, which he'll desperately need in this fight for the chase.
And with that contact and coming down pit road, obviously Ryan Lutz out of the 10 points, but Ethan Burrell not going to pick up any either, so that's going to hurt both of their championship hunt here.
Yeah, and that kind of puts the onus on Nick Massey to beat Tate Lytle through this traffic. Same for Joe Francis. I think those three are kind of the three that we're aware of that are battling for this win right now.
I don't think any of us, well, we didn't, but I don't know if anyone were even really considering Lytle, Massey, or Francis as a winner here tonight. Maybe Tate Lytle over the other two.
Yeah, I mean, Tate's one of those guys we're always expecting to be fast in these Xfinity cars, but I don't know, man. Nick Massey just hasn't been good this year, and he was not on my radar at all, especially when he started 35th. But he was really coming through that field. He was one kind of forcing the issue and forcing those guys to get a little more aggressive. Joe Francis makes out like a bandit after making that incredible save, and we're about to go back green. Bayuk spun the tires a lot. And stacks up the outside. That's what Tate Lytle wanted to see. It's not what Nick Massey wanted to see. Man rolls. Hit the apron a little bit.
Massey is able to kind of fall right in behind Tate here. Steinmiller trying to hold that top line against Rawls to pick up a position.
Yeah, just Josh Clark into second behind Rexing. Rexing trying to drive away as much as possible. Getting those lap-led bonuses, already a good big component of staying out. Lytle through the first wave of traffic. Massey close behind. They're 3 wide down the back straightaway. Marcus Adams way on the bottom. Robert Hill in the middle. Austin Beers up top.
Joe Francis following Nick Massey through as well, as they'll get around for position.
Rawls. Yep, Rawls. And then Beers is there, but I think that, the Scott Crump, Cameron Rich, and Johnny Thomas are the 3 that are kind of moving forward right now. 3 wide again between Myhan, Steinmiller, Cooper Johnson. That might be a wreck waiting to happen down the back straightaway. 3 wide, 2 rows deep.
Battle for third, Tate Lytle. Tate Lytle.
Beers running on the outside of Steinmiller.
Watching this action back in the pack here.
You just went on the grass. That's the second car to do that today and not wreck. First being Johnny Thomas. Massey goes around Clark. He's right on Tate Lytle's bumper.
Yep,
And
they're now
snarling back.
second and third as David is watching this big pack. The front 2 have, or 2 of 3 have made their way up. The 2 we were expecting, Lytle and Massey is all over the back of Tate Lytle right now.
There's a battle, but it's in front of Joe Francis here. He's going to be stuck in behind it. Bayou going after Josh Clark. That will make this a 2-car race on those fresher tires for the lead. Francis now cuts underneath Bayou, and they're 3 wide still in the middle of the pack. A lot going on right now. Keith Burrell trying to charge through this pack.
We're going to have a battle for the lead here in about half a second. Here comes Tate Lytle to the inside. Jared Rexing on those old tires are going to get blown by. A little bit of a love tap there from Tate Lytle as he comes through. Nick Massey going to follow.
Yep, Rexing doing everything he can to hold him back, but those 2 guys are on that fresh rubber. That's all they need. Blown by Jared Rexing.
Joe Francis and Cameron Rich have got through too, so we'll see them start to make their way towards this group as well. See if they can close that gap to Tate Lytle and Nick Massey.
Is the next one on fresh tires to get through, and then it's Johnny Thomas. That 83 car, he's been on an adventure tonight. Through the grass, has some damage on the right rear. Making it work though. Got those fresh tires.
Here comes Massey, draws right up to the back of Lytle again.
Yeah, it's Nick Massey going after the lead. Now, I will tell you, Tate Lytle in the early part of this run, as Massey goes around Lytle on the outside, Tate Lytle in the early part of this run is saving his tires. He knows this thing could go green all the way to the end. Tate is just going to keep Massey within arm's reach, and he'll come get him later. Tate Lytle is racing for lap 150. He knows it's okay to wait right here and ride in behind that 48 car. Let him burn his stuff up to try to run away from him. Massey's been using the outside. Tate's just rolling the bottom, wrapping that blue line. That 56 will be back after Massey for the lead, here in 10, 15, 20 laps.
That's why it looked so easy for Nick Massey there. We haven't seen many guys use that outside line to make a pass, let alone make it that quick and that fast. And Tate might have said, you know what? You want the lead, you can have it right now.
Speaking of passes, Cameron Rich just blew by Joe Francis. That was for the 3rd position. So moved Rich to 3rd in that podium spot. Francis back to 4th. Scott Crump up to 5th. And Johnny Thomas is about to bypass Jared Rexing to become that 6th car on fresh tires. The next ones on fresh tires that'll bypass Rexing are Marcus Adams, Austin Beers, and then Cooper Johnson. we go. There's the pit stop strategy for you. Everybody on pretty similar tire strategies. That is up here in the top group. Cameron Rich really benefiting from that caution, where he didn't have to, pit early. Rexon's old tires not helping him as he falls through the field. Rich is starting to reel these guys in. He's under a second now of the race leader.
Tate Lytle is just kind of stuck there with Nick Massey, not really pushing the issue, but hasn't fallen off either. Just kept it right around 0.3 of a second between the two.
Tate is just monitoring. He's waiting. Might even be using the draft, using the car in front of him to kind of guide him through those corners. But Tate is really good here at Charlotte, man. I remember a couple of years ago in the Elite League that runs right before this one. Tate Lytle led about 150 of a 200-lap race, cautioning him out with about 20 to go, and Tate sped on pit road. Lost out. It was a championship race, too.
Joe Francis has not been as lucky to kind of chip into this lead. He's kind of been hanging back there, still ways off. Hanging in that fourth spot, Scott Crump and Johnny Thomas actually might be closing in here for that fourth spot in a few laps or so. Caution flag on the speedway.
Rexing. And there's, oh wow. Got Richard Lafferty that pounded into Rexing. We talked to Rexing in the booth just a minute ago, and he was saying how he felt like it would still be the right decision to take the no tires, stay out. I wonder if he's maybe rethinking that a little bit now. Oh, Damian Leininger got into him there, and I think Rexing maybe came off the wall a little bit before Damian was expecting to, and Rexing was gonna be fine, and he got absolutely just jackknifed by that 81 car. I think it was the 81. Yeah, Richard Lafferty, and yeah, just T-boned. Nowhere to go.
All right, what strategy is there here?
I think we're going to see some guys stay out. Nick Massey stays out.
There's quite a few that pull the last-ditch effort there and stay out. Front four all psyched them out. Scott Crump was the first one to bite.
Now, you only get 5 sets of tires, including the tire set that you started on. We had the very first pit stop, which was somewhat under green, but after the big wreck on the back straightaway, everyone had their first pit. Then we had our second pit after the stage break. So this is the third set of tires for these guys. They will have one more set of tires the rest of the way, and I think they might be able to make it on fuel from here. It's going to be close. That's 60 laps, 59 laps right now. That's going to be really close to make it on fuel. We were at 58, I think, 57, 58 when that first caution came out. That might have been the race-winning call right there, was those guys who came down pit road. I mean, Scott Crump's only going to be about 7th on the grid with 10-lap fresher tires than the rest of this group. And the next pit stop, he can stay out, and those guys can pit if, and a big if, we get a caution.
Question is, though, if that's 30, 40 laps down the road.
Right. But then at that point, I think Scott Crump might be in the lead.
Right, but I'm saying if those guys, depending on where they restart with fresh tires, still might be in a better position. It'll be interesting. We'll see. That's why that's what makes it interesting from our perspective when you have different strategies like this.
We go grab Nick Massey.
Sure.
Nick Massey, it's David in the TV booth. You got me?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Nick, what's the strategy there? It looks like you might be able to make it on if you had pitted right here.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a tough call. It could go either way. I didn't want to. I only have 2 sets of tires left, and everybody else is in the same boat. And I didn't want to leave myself one set of tires for 55 laps. So kind of rolling the dice here a little bit, but we'll see how it plays out. We got good pace, and it's the first time probably this season I've had maybe race-winning pace. So hopefully we can close this thing out.
Yeah, Nick, did you expect that after you qualified 35th, or was that kind of an intentional sandbag there in qualifying to earn the back-to-front challenge?
No, I forgot about the back-to-front challenge, but no, the crew chief still had the race trim set up in the car in queue, so was not on the driver. No, I'm just kidding. I botched qualifying pretty bad. But yeah, I didn't expect kind of the caution fell there. The first caution fell at the right time. Kind of stayed out as long as I could. Had like a lap of fuel left, and the caution came out right before I was going to hit pit road. So wound up 35th to top 5 just on staying out.
Gotcha. Well, good luck, Nick, for the rest of this race. And I know Tate's probably your biggest competition there, so watch out for the 56 car.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Is in Rubbins Racing. Right there. So, race leader Nick Massey, he's thinking there's going to be more cautions. Otherwise, you wouldn't need to put on more tires.
I would think there's probably going to be at least one more.
The thing is that, we've seen a 60-something lap run. And it very well could happen right here. Now, will it? I've seen it both ways where, 50 or so laps to go, you're going to have to start saving fuel. I've also seen it where, we get 7 more cautions the rest of the way. I sure hope we don't get that. But
I think for what we went through last week, we deserve no more 7 cautions. But I think it would, I wouldn't be surprised if there's one more.
Right. And I think that's what Nick Massey, Tate Lytle, Cameron Rich, these guys are betting on, is that there will be one more caution. But I don't know, man. I think I would have been on that group to come down pit road right now. Get off sequence with these leaders, because you're not going to beat them on raw pace, but maybe this race goes green and you can steal yourself a little win. That's what Scott Crump's going for right now.
Oh, we'll find out. In 57 laps, whose strategy comes out the best? Green flag back in the air. So we approach the Toyota restart zone.
And Massey got a pretty big jump that opens it up for Cameron Rich to get underneath Tate Lytle. I don't think Tate wants to give second up here, but he may have to.
Come charging. Charging hard out of turn 2 on the high side.
Let's see where Scott Crump makes up ground. He's got about 10 lap fresher tires than everybody else, but I think Cooper Johnson is the one on the move right now. The 14 car got the best run. Cooper Johnson's going after Robert Hill for 5th.
Austin Beers right behind Scott Crump back there as well. He's trying to make a move. There's Crump.
Has some tires as well.
Crump starts to go under Dylan Thomas here for position. 3 wide.
Course Royal going to the top side. 06 car looking. Dylan Thomas slams the door. Beers now to the bottom of Dylan Thomas.
Crump looking to the outside of Cooper Johnson now.
Yep. I think, no, that's Robert Hill. 06. Hill stayed out as well. So I think Hill and Dylan have both stayed out, but those are the guys that are kind of at the back end of this group of cars that stayed out. So they're going to be going backwards. Well, Cooper goes forwards. Cooper's up to 4th.
Cooper's up to 3rd and looking for 2nd.
Here
he comes under
Johnson.
Tate Lytle.
I just don't know about that strategy by Tate and Massey, man. I just don't know.
Cooper now looking for the race lead under Nick Massey at the line. Massey will have it by half a car.
I think Cooper's going to have it here in turn 1. You got to get as much as you can before these tires kind of equalize out. Scott Crump now to the outside of Tate Lytle for 3rd place.
Austin Beers coming right behind. He's in 4th.
Chris World down to the bottom.
These guys on the attack right now with these fresh tires.
Cooper Johnson to the lead. Here comes Scott Crump.
Austin Beers going to split Tate Lytle and Massey. He's tucked in there in 3rd, and Worrell underneath Lytle for 4th.
It's interesting. The guy with the short car run, we talked to Beers earlier. He had the good run in the short term, but he was not very good in the long run. Didn't know how to save his tires. So Beers making that call to go ahead, play for the short run here, because next pit stop he can just come in, get that last set of tires, and go for the win.
Look who's just made his way into the top 5, Johnny Thomas under Nick Massey.
Fresh tire strategy paying dividends here early in this run, and if this race goes green, those guys are going to be able to make it all the way to the end. Johnson, Crump, Beers, Worrell, Johnny Thomas, 1 through 5, 3 wide for 7th between Bear, Lytle, and Marcus Adams up top.
All right, I was pretty sure that none of us would have predicted Tate Lytle, Nick Massey, or Joe Francis to win this race, but I can pretty much guarantee we wouldn't have predicted this top 5 right now.
This is, well, you and I both have the second and third. Our picks are second and third, man. Chrome's second, Beers is third.
Yep.
Now, the way the race has gone, you would be right, but we did pick him. Cooper Johnson, though, and he's setting sail. He's looking good out in front. Not really able to pull away from Scott Crump, but it looks like he does have some pace over Beers and Worrell right now. Cooper, though, taking advantage of those fresh tires. That's what you got to do. When you have that advantage, is you have to really push hard, get through that traffic as quickly as possible, and hope that you've still got a little bit of tire left on the car that you can ride in the lead, save, and then defend your spot for 49 more laps.
Chad Bear looks like he's going to start to make a run here for that 5th position on Johnny Thomas and Chris Worrell, who are battling for 4th.
Yep, Johnny getting underneath Worrell, rather. Hit the apron, almost wiped them all out. And a big wreck in the back. Was that Dylan Thomas or was that Steinmiller? Steinmiller in the 63. And that is the caution Tate Lytle wanted to see. As same for Nick Massey and Cameron Rich.
Meanwhile, it's not Leininger into the wall. Francis.
I think that started up in front. I think that was all on Joe Francis before Michael Goodman hits into it, Trey Holmes hits into it. I think that happened up ahead, right? Oh, wow.
Right there.
Robert Hill comes down onto Leininger, is I think what happened there.
I don't know. I don't like Steinmiller's was a little interesting there as well. That could have been 2 separate racks.
You know what? It's netcode between the 50 and the 05. It shoots Robert's car down the track and bounces him into Damien, and then Damien and Robert got hooked together. That's what starts this whole thing. But none of those guys actually caused the caution. It was Steinmiller who ends up causing the caution.
All right, here we go. Should see a couple of those guys in the back come down pit road, and here they come.
Yep, those guys being like Tate Lytle. And those who were praying for this caution, they get it. And checking it out, Steinmiller checked up. And when he checked up, he got run into by the 46 of Hanshaw and somebody else. I think Harrison Talon's 2 car. And that's what causes this incident. So,
Not that Lytle wins the race off pit road of those that did pit. Followed by Nick Massey and Cameron Rich.
now, if this race goes green to the end, Tate Lytle, Nick Massey, those guys are in the driver's seat, obviously. But if we get another caution, say in 10, 15 laps, I think you'll see a lot of these guys come down and get their last set of tires. Because I don't think you can make your way through the field on tires. I don't think you can make your way through the field on tires with less than maybe 40 laps. I think you've got to go ahead and get your tires the next opportunity here. You're just not going to have enough time.
So if you are someone like Tate or Nick or Cameron who just came down to get tires and in 15 laps we get a caution, do you stay out again?
Right, yeah. I think not. I think you come get tires then. because everyone else is going to come get tires. So they're going to work their way through the field because your group is smaller than the group that just stayed out, right? I mean, Tate is what, 13th, so there's 12 cars, with the strategy of, get tires earlier. Now they're on one more set. Tate just got his other set, but that's only 4 guys on that strategy. Tim, Massey, Rich. Actually, now that Francis is damaged, it's really just those 3. There's a lot of damaged cars in this field. I mean, Garen Turner's up in 8th because he's one of those guys who's skipped out on the damage so far. Weirdly, this race, which has featured a 60-some-odd lap green flag run, might be one of our biggest carnage races that we've had so far this season, since we switched off of the COT that, and not one that we went to a short track on. Cooper Johnson probably sick to his stomach that wreck occurred. By his teammates, no less. Trump Beers, Johnny Thomas, Chris Worrell, the top 5. What about an interview with top 5 Johnny? Or unless we're about to go green here. Yep, 1 to green. We'll hold off on the interview for now. See if Johnny's top 5 later on. Race control Johnny Eckert is calling Damien's and Johnny Thomas's pass in the grass, the pass in the turf, because they've replaced the grass in the infield here with turf. Johnny always does a great job for us, and we appreciate his services at ERSCA. Top 12 are stayed out on old tires. Nick Massey, Tate Lytle, Cameron Rich. Those would be the 3 guys on fresh tires that we're going to have to watch the progress of moving through the field. Here we go. Cooper Johnson goes early. Austin Beers is with him.
Side by side, Beers and Crump battling for the 2nd position. Looks like Beers might be able to clear Crump out of 2.
Tate Lytle and Cameron Rich both cleared Nick Massey. The outside lane did not get going deep in the field, and Massey is buried further back than both Lytle and Cameron Rich.
Well, it might be in part to Scott Crump not getting a good restart. He falls all the way back to 4th as Beers and Worrell both get around him here off the start.
On board with Nick Massey there, and that 48 car trying to reel in the kind of cream-colored 47 of Cameron Rich right in front.
Let me tell you, Johnny Thomas has a handful right now. He's got Matthew Bayuk to the inside. He's got Adams to the outside, and they're 3 wide down the backstretch.
League over Johnny Thomas. Battle for 2nd as Chris Worrell tries to get it from Boston Beers. Great racing. Johnny backs out of it, heads to the top side, and Tate Lytle will cut underneath him. The fresh tires starting to move their way into the top 10. Lytle is up to 9th, and he'll get 8th from Johnny Thomas. I don't know if Tate got into Matthew Bayuk or if there was some net code or Bayuk just moved out of the way, but it almost looked like Tate just kind of reached out and pushed on the 29 car and sent it up the track so that Tate could jump underneath.
Cameron Rich right behind him, trying to get around. He just got around Johnny Thomas, looking to go under Matthew Bayuk now as well.
All of a sudden, Cameron Rich is Tate Lytle's closest competition. Nick Massey has fallen off. Garen Turner, the one in the way of that 48 car, and impeding Massey's progress of following those guys through. Massey kind of almost dead in the water at this point.
Yeah, probably patience running a little slim for Nick Massey right now with Garen Turner out in front of him, watching those cars just set sail and pull away from him each second right now.
Well, the good news for Massey is that they are about to not go anywhere for a while. Barring a 3-wide bonsai move like this, Tate shooting underneath Scott Crump. I'd back out of that one there. Tate got into him. Oh man, here comes Cameron Rich.
I was going to say, so you think, and then Tate goes and does something like that.
Well, you know, gotta go sometime, I guess. Tate Lytle now under fire from Rich, but Rich will now be stuck behind Scott Crump. That allows Lytle to get up and around him, and he'll get off on the back bumper of Marcus Adams, and he might have a chance to cut to the bottom here, and he will in front of Scott Crump. So Tate Lytle making the most of that move, but almost creating a disaster there, and Nick Massey has freed himself from the grasp of Karen Turner. He'll now be going after the shifty Sports Fords.
Yeah, he gave a little shot to Turner down the backstretch. Sent him into the corner a little hot so that we could sneak underneath. Now he's going to try to make up ground as he tries to get around Rawls or Bayou contact in the back. Johnny through the grass again.
Johnny just wants to ride through that grass. Johnny just needs to run that line. He's going to back out of it here and save the car. A frustrating night, I think, for sure for Johnny Thomas. These guys have been really racing him aggressively. Battle for the lead, though, eventually the battle for the lead. Tate Lytle and Cameron Rich. They go around Chad Bear. Now they'll go after Marcus Adams in the 95. Nick Massey still 3 more cars behind. Good news is it's taken them quite a while. And see, this is why I wouldn't try to stay out and plan out my second set of tires here if the caution comes out, pretty soon. It's taken them a very long time, despite a pretty big tire advantage, to carve through this field. Nick Massey has, in fact, struggled mightily.
Well, he just made a couple good moves there. He went to the outside of Crump, got the run, and then used that momentum to tuck right under Chad Bear here, and he's looking to pick up. He got that spot. Now he's under Adams for another one.
Yep. Here comes Nick Massey. He's the one on the move right now. Just 2 cars behind Cameron Rich. Massey has to keep Rich in his sights. Ooh, Rolls washes up, almost gets into Beers, and Massey's got nowhere to go behind the guys who are side by side. Tate Lytle and Cameron Rich clear through Chris Worrell, so Massey has to find a way through. He gets Beers. He'll go after Rawls. Massey trying everything to stay with Tate Lytle and Cameron Rich.
Rawls slid up the hill there. That moved Beers up as well and just opened a little bit of a window for Nick Massey. He came underneath, and now he's just got to get under Worrell here, and he can see those 2 out in front of him.
Here comes Massey now down to the bottom. He'll go after, get that spot. Fresh tires helping that 48 car. Now it's the 3 guys on fresh tires right behind Cooper Johnson, the race leader. Cooper had pulled away. It just doesn't matter with this fresh rubber. Here comes Tate Lytle.
Lytle looking for the race lead all over the back of the 14 car. He's going to dive it on in here in turn 1. Try to slide up in front out of turn 2. He'll have the move. He's got the race lead back. Tate Lytle in the 56 out front once again.
You remember those laps he was running on that long green flag run where he opened up about a 4-second lead? He's going to run those every lap the rest of the way here tonight. And I just don't know if there's anything Cameron Rich or Nick Massey can do to go get this 56 car. He is very, very good, and he carved through traffic as the best of the guys on fresh tires.
Well, the only hope that these 2 might have is the fact that they were not up here when Tate Lytle took the lead last time. It was Scott Crump that was running in the 2nd position, and he got blown away from. We'll see if Rich and Massey can do a better job here, maybe show a little bit of more speed now that they're up front and can maybe stick with Tate Lytle here in the closing 30 laps or so, as we have about 31 to go as we cross the line.
Nick Massey there gets 3rd from Cooper Johnson. The other car on fresh tires is Seth Rawls. He is 4th. So Rawls actually one of those guys who was battling with the fresh tires against these guys. I think he was in front of Massey at one point, but Rawls definitely not quite the same level as those front 3. He'll tuck into 4th, and I imagine Seth Rawls would be very happy if this race went green and he was able to finish right there.
Well, David, so you're questioning their decision early on. Right now it played out perfectly. And based on kind of our opinions, if a caution were to come out here in the next 30 laps, we expect to see everyone down pit road, which means their strategy worked out the best as it stands right now.
Right, and that required that caution in the middle there. If that doesn't come out, though, I think we're looking at Cooper Johnson race winner. He was looking the best of anybody, and you know, it's a tough break because the caution just didn't fall his way. And I think Jared Bogart might be on fresh tires in this group, but he has a little bit of damage, so it's a little harder for him to work his way through the field. But I think we're not out of the woods yet when it comes to a caution. This pack right here is snarling and right behind Scott Crump, who seems to be struggling on the older tires. Yeah, Beer's chasing him up the track a little bit. That opens the door for Jared Mogard. Mogard can't clear Beers. Josh Clark in this battle as well in the 28. Chad Bear, the 91. Joe Francis is also in this pack with a very damaged number 50 after that crash.
Bogart up the hill. Here comes Clark through the middle, 3 wide. Or sorry, it was Beers up the hill. Clark splits them through the middle.
Francis now the one on the move. Josh Clark might be on fresh tires. The way that 28 car plowed through there. Bogart's still struggling on the bottom, unable to get around Beers, who holds station up top. Beers cuts across the nose of Bogart and retains that position. I believe that's going to be 9th. Bogart 10th. Bear going after that. Francis up top. Joe Francis trying to get back into the top 10. And Francis will get Chad Bear down the back straightaway. Oh, he got into him.
Oh, yeah, he sent him down the racetrack there. Good save by Bear. Keep it straight.
Francis now talks to the bottom, trying to go after Jared and Bogard. No harm, no foul. Almost had our, I believe, 5th caution of the day. But for now, we stay green. Tate Lytle is pulling away from Cameron Rich. Nick Massey is all over the back bumper of the 47 and watching the race lead slip away.
Here he comes.
Rich. Yep, Massey just got Rich.
Yeah, Rich went to the high side there, and Massey blew right by him.
I think Nick Massey's going to need a caution, and even then, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Tate Lytle has had the brakes fall his way so far today, and you know, it has gotten into the catbird seat with the race lead. I just don't know if Massey's got the pace to get there. That would be Massey's, what, 2nd runner-up finish?
I believe that might be right.
He finished 2nd at Dover. I just don't know if he did it at any other point this season. Let's see where he's at the line here. Yeah, lost about a 10th that time to Tate Lytle. This is about the point in the run where that 56 car just starts to pick up 5th gear, and the rest of these cars are stuck in 4th.
$25 to go.
Chris Worrell did get around Cooper Johnson. Josh Clark has caught them with his fresh tires, and I think Clark and Francis are probably going to get to 5th and 6th rather easily if this thing stays green.
Yeah, another 1/10 there added to Tate Lytle. This might be the writing on the wall here unless a caution comes out.
Certainly possible with this battle in the top camera on the 3YTV multicam. Marcus Adams, Jared Mogard close together, and a bunch of Shift Esports Fords closing behind. I think that's My-Hand and Bayuk.
And we don't have complete control of cautions, but we'll do our best not to throw premature cautions like some other series. So.
Man, I don't even know who that could be poking at.
Yeah, I don't know. Tate setting sail here. He gained another 1/2 tenth last lap. We'll see what it is this lap. Things settled out here in the top 10.
Yep, 10th and a half. Tate Lytle's just starting to pull away. This might be the time for the Tate Lytle cam too. Carlos, if you've got it. There it is. Tate Lytle going down in the corner, getting to watch the master at work. Race leader. Steady on the wheel. Got time to push up the glasses down the straightaway. That's how lackadaisical it seems for this 56 car today. Look at that. He is on a rail right now.
Very smooth, very consistent. Just trying to ride that line all the way around.
You know, we watched him. He was very relaxed, pushed up his glasses that last lap, picked up, lost just a teensy bit. Nick Massey cut into it for the first time in I think 4 or 5 laps. That just means Tate is biding his time, saving his stuff, 20 more circuits. He knows he can pick it up. You see it right there on the tracker. Massey did eat into the lead just a teensy bit. I think he's going to get about 2/10 this lap. I think Tate saw that happen and went, maybe we'll get a little bit more right here.
No, almost dead even that time.
Ooh, 0.001. Identical lap times between the 56 and 48 that time. I do wonder if the dirty air from the 10 car or the 07 car in front of Tate Lytle might be slowing him down ever so slightly. Once he gets a little closer, that'll kind of turn into draft down the straightaways, and then I think Rexing will probably pull over for Tate.
Yeah, so they're going to have Rexing here. Then it'll be a little bit to Kwame Scott. And in front of Kwame Scott is Hank Steinmiller. But other than that, I don't think they're really going to have enough time to get into too heavy of lap traffic here.
Tate about to put Jared Rexing in their lap down, back in the field. As I think, yeah, Massey's even falling back there, so back in the field, Dylan Thomas holds 12th in front of Jared Mogard. Up in front of them, Joe Francis has gotten into the top 10 with the damaged car and the fresh tires. Cochran, Cooper Johnson, Chad Bear here in the middle of the top 10, and then just out back, it's Thomas Mogart, Bayuk, Marcus Adams. Quick shout out to Kyle Hanshaw running in 18th. The co-owner of the league with Johnny Thomas, having a really strong run. Probably his best run of the year, honestly.
Ethan
running right in front of Ethan. Yeah. Exactly. Running right in front of Ethan Burrell. That's where you always want to be in my mind. So if you're in front of Ethan Burrell, you're having a good day.
Ethan probably doesn't think the same thing right about now. He's probably not considering this a very good day.
Exactly. But if you can sit back on a race and go beat one of the best drivers on this racing, I view that as a good day. Even if that guy happened to have trouble or something, it always feels good to have beaten somebody that you know is as good as Ethan Burrell is. Cooper Johnson going after Chad Bear, a battle there for the 7th position. Close race and off 4, but Bear's going to hold off Cooper for now. Into 1, Cooper's going to clear Bear. Is he able to pull up in front? No, he actually is going to lose the spot, and he's going to lose the spot to Scott Crump. And maybe one to Austin Beers. Tough break for Cooper Johnson. By the way, all the kind of covering the back of the field, Nick Massey has lost another 3/10. Beers close to Crump. Oof, that could have been a wreck. I'd keep it right here. These two might run into each other at some point. Just about did right there. Crump just, oh, they're in the wall. There it is. Joe Francis gets caught up in it again. You knew that was coming. Scott Crump gets into Chad Bear, and oh, they're going to clobber someone on the apron. Crump just got absolutely smashed into by Marcus Adams. Marcus committed to the bottom. Dylan Thomas made it through. Bayuk made it through. Marcus does not. Damian Leininger does not. Leininger got maybe the hardest hit of all of them.
Crump actually makes
on through. Boom.
Crump actually made contact with Chad Bear there, and that's kind of what started the whole thing.
Right there, right, boom, right there. Got the nose into 91 car, and last race's winner, Scott Crump, goes sliding down the track in front of three guys who really couldn't do anything about it. And that will mean that the several second advantage that Tate Lytle had is now gone. And Tate will absolutely be coming to pit road and picking up some tires. I wonder if anyone will try 2 tires.
This is going to be very interesting.
Well, those guys are on older tires, though. I don't see them being able to hold back Tate Lytle with 2 tires. I think they'd probably still slide and spin. So, what was Chad Bear doing there? Anyway, pit stops. No, Bear just lost it and hit the track and hit the wall. Under caution. Interesting. Anyway. Well, Crump will be back to the pit road, I think. Here we go. Let's see if Tate can get off pit road. Looks like some people did, in fact, go for the
Oh, Nick's going to beat him. That's going to be real close.
Cooper Johnson goes for 2 tires. I think Tate got Massey.
I think he did by a nose. It was really close.
Kyle Hanshaw has tried the why not, let's go for it, stay out strategy. Scott Crump there in second, but I think Crump's going to go ahead and come down pit road after. And then Cooper Johnson goes with 2 tires, jumps up in front of Tate Lytle, but with much, much older left sides. I don't know how well that's going to work for the 14 car. Plus, he doesn't have anybody else who tried it with him, so he has absolutely no buffer back to Tate Lytle. This one ain't over yet, though.
Probably going to be 8 to 9 to go, and we go back green.
Yep, and a lot of time there. It's going to be very tough for Hanshaw or Cooper Johnson to hold off Tate Lytle with that kind of mileage to go in this race. Here, there goes Scott Crump down the pit road with the damage on the 51 car. Cooper's on 2 tires. I wonder if Chris Worrell got 2 tires as well. See if I can bring up Cooper Johnson here. Cooper, it's David in the TV booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Cooper, did you take 2 tires right there?
Yeah, I did.
All right, man. You got anything for him? You going to give it all you got here?
I'm sure going to try. I had a lot of fun running up front earlier, and once you get that clean air, it's a lot better. But I am not excited knowing that I got Kyle Hanshaw starting out here in front of me here. So I have no idea what's going to happen in 1 and 2. Hopefully we all keep our cars straight, but we'll find out. Or I guess he was given the OL now, so I'll take the lead.
There you go. Well, now you're the race leader. You got to give it a good restart here and see if you can't hold these guys off.
We're going to give it the old college try here. Let's see what we got.
2 tires. We'll see if it works. Cooper Johnson, thank you so much, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
And Kyle Hanshaw goes ahead and takes the EOL here, so that'll solve that question as to whether or not the front row is stable, and I wonder how that 14 car will handle here in turns 1 and 2. I envision with those old left side tires it will be rather squirrely, but that does mean that Nick Massey will start on the inside, Lytle will start on the outside, and Massey will be able to go a little bit quicker than Lytle, based on Cooper probably going quicker and Massey being able to react off of it.
Yeah, I'd agree. That top line has not been able to get good jumps off this inside line all night long. Tate might be able to time it up a little bit better, but I feel like I'd be more confident in a better position right now if you're Massey than Tate Lytle.
Thing is Tate Lytle has been clearly the dominant car tonight and easily the fastest in the field. He's been the only one who's been able to get out in front and then pull away to lengths of 2 and 3 seconds. So, I certainly have faith in that 56 car to get it done, but he's going to have to battle through at least with this one more restart.
All right, lights out on the pace car. We're going to go back to green, hopefully for the last time here tonight. The Harpoon Designs 300 pace car down and away. And Cooper Johnson, Tate Lytle going to lead us to the green flag here in this one.
I think Cooper's going to go really early here. Yep, he's gone soon as the pace car left his view, and that means Massey's going to have that position on Tate Lytle on the bottom, but Massey's really going to need to bury it into this corner in order to keep Lytle at bay.
He's going to do it. Massey drives it in deep here. Should be able to slide up in front out of 2.
Yes, and they're crashing
In the wall,
behind.
they're working.
Oh man, Massey hit the wall off of 2. Massey's in the wall hard off of 2, and that's going to give the second spot to Cameron Rich. Massey pounded the wall. He did not make it through turn 2. He buried it in too deep. And behind him, they wreck. Oh man, Massey hit Cooper Johnson.
Did Cooper let up for the caution?
He might have. No, they were running into each other before then. Ethan Burrell, Worrell, Zishan Dura, Robert Hill, Michael Goodman again, Wyatt Nadel, Chad Bear, Kyle Hanshaw was in this. Wow. Massey had Cooper got loose is what happened, right? I think Cooper gets loose exiting the corner and has to catch up the track and save it. And Massey winds up in just the wrong spot at the wrong time.
FYI, though, Massey did get second back.
Yeah, but that's not going to matter. That car is heavily damaged. And that was the product of 2 tires right there. On board with, I think this is Michael Goodman. He got hit in the back before this wreck even got going. Here's on board with Wyatt Nadel. Yeah, Nadel's the one who hit Michael Goodman. And then he gets clobbered by Zishan Dura. Looks like Seth Rawls might have gotten some damage as well. So a good promising run for Rawls going awry. Another big crash here at Charlotte. That's right, we did have the incident limit, but I don't know if anybody's gotten quite to that point. So Cooper will retain the lead, but he's got damage now. Yeah, I know. Cooper's got damage. Massey's got damage. Rich passed Lytle, so he's 3rd. Lytle is 4th. Austin Beers is now 5th. Bayuk is now 6th. Josh Clark is 7th. Mogard 8th. Garen Turner 9th. And Ethan Burrell has somehow snuck back up into the top 10.
All right, I think we're going to have 3 to 4 laps to go and go back green this time.
Might even be a natural green-white checkered here.
I don't think
they double up right now.
Nobody had any tires left, I don't think, so nobody could come down and get any even if they wanted to.
Yep, I think everybody has used every set they've got left, and yeah, we're still 2 to go. So we'll pull in one of the main characters of that last wreck, Zishan Dura. Zishan, you got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, hi guys.
Yeah, what happened out there, man? Looked like you just kind of got sucked up into another big wreck.
Yeah, the 05 got clipped at the last second, and I got clobbered pretty bad.
It's a tough break, man, but I know Daytona's coming up, and I know that's one of your more favorite tracks. So 2 more weeks till that one, man.
Yeah, I've been counting days.
All right, well, Zishan, appreciate it, man, and tough break out there. Hate it for you.
Thanks, guys.
Was Zishan Dura driver of the 10 car? Not so many others into the TV booth, because I think we had some angry drivers earlier, and then a bunch of guys have stayed on the racetrack trying to pick up spots. Kwame Scott, who was one of the more, one of the earlier guys to go out of this race with a crash, he has snuck from about 35th to 28th. There are only 23 cars left in the lead lap in this one. Bit of an attrition race tonight. And I would say there's only probably 3 or 4 cars without damage. I think it's Cameron Rich, Tate Lytle, Austin Beers, Matthew Bayuk, Josh Clark, Mogard, Garen Turner.
All right, looks like it will be a natural green-white checker to finish this one out here tonight.
Cooper Johnson picks the bottom, and that really is going to help Cameron Rich at this point. But maybe the damage to Cooper Johnson's car not so bad, and he's able to hang on to it, though I think it will probably hamper that car from being able to finish this race in the lead. Massey's damage, I think, is really severe. I don't think that 48 car will be able to retain that spot, and so it's going to be about now, can Tate Lytle get by Rich in time to pass Johnson for the win on the last lap? This race might have fallen directly into Cameron Rich's hands.
And of course, nobody picked him tonight.
Unbelievable.
Listen,
Here we go.
you all think I didn't pick Cameron Rich, but I knew he was going to win. He's had some bad luck, so I purposely didn't pick him so he can have some good luck today.
The rare anti-announcer skirts from Carlos. Here we go. Pace car is off. And Johnson waits that time, goes late. Massey's car is not going at all. Rich through. Boston Beers is going to be through as well. Tate Lytle got stuck behind Massey. Lytle's going to have to pick up 4 spots in 2 laps. Here comes Rich. Johnson throws the block. That's not going to work. Here comes Austin Beers.
Beers might force the issue here. Oh, Cooper!
Spun it. He's going to save it. There they come to the white flag. Cameron Rich, the race leader. He's got Austin Beers all over him, and Tate Lytle is on a little too far back to be able to make it move. Can Austin Beers do anything about Cameron Rich for the race win?
Closes in through 2 that time. We'll see if he can take a deep run into 3 and 4. Tate could be sitting here if something happens between these two.
Yeah, Beers dives it into the corner. I don't think he's going to have enough. Cameron Rich off turn 4. I think he led like 3 laps all day, and the last one's going to be the most important. Rich wins at Charlotte. Austin Beers second, Tate Lytle third. And they crash for 4th between Clark and Bayuk. I think Bayuk gets Clark at the line for 4th. Nick Massey winds up 10th with the damage. And Tate Lytle, likely will have a rather dejected interview for a guy who really deserved this race win from start to finish tonight. But he didn't get it. Cameron Rich got it, and Rich drove the cleanest of anybody there, and it seemed like he had the luck going bad early in the race. He was part of that group that pitted late. But Cameron Rich is your winner here in the Harpoon Designs 300. I don't see Tate Lytle anymore. I guess there he is. Try to grab Tate, Beers, and Cameron here before we send you off tonight. Quick look at the results. Aaron Turner with a 7th place run. That might be his best run of the year. Mark Whitley was really fast in the first run. Ended up getting caught up in that big wreck. He finishes in 8th. Ethan Burrell winds up 14th. Joe Francis 17th after a couple of bad luck runs. Cooper Johnson gave it his best, ends up 18th. Let's grab 3rd place finisher Tate Lytle. Tate,
Hey,
tough run tonight. Tate, tough run tonight, man. But you were definitely the car to beat tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely had these guys on pace. I felt like short run, maybe Massey. He got us there on that one run, but we were pretty much, after like 10 laps, I felt like we were the best car. And yeah, when that caution came out with like 12 to go, I knew it was going to be interesting. And then these guys, taking 2, staying out. I'm like, man, that last restart, I knew that Nick was going to be really, really slow. And I don't know what I could have done differently there on that last restart to win. And I got loose and gave Cam the spot on that second to last restart. But I feel like if I didn't get loose, I probably would have got taken out in Cooper and Nick's mess there. So I don't know. It's just kind of how racing goes. Sometimes you got the best car and you finish 3rd, and that's what happens tonight. But, if you could be disappointed in 3rd, you obviously were pretty good. And just bummed. It's been over a year since I've won an ERSCA. And I don't know. I've had 2 or 3 podiums since then. Maybe even more than that. And fastest car a couple times. I know we led the most laps tonight, and sometimes it just ain't meant to be. But got to shout out Brent Wentz, Days Gone By Vintage Racing Apparel. He's up in Indianapolis right now. I think he's spotting for Callum Ilott. So good luck to them this weekend, and shout out to my dad. I know he's he's probably sitting on the couch watching this. Hopefully, little sister Louise is still intrigued. I'm sure she lost interest after about 12 or 13 laps, but always appreciate him watching me. He was sending me some motivational text messages throughout the race, and he's about the only person in the world that could really hype me up, so I was feeling pretty good about it.
Gotcha, man. Well, Indianapolis and then Daytona and then the start of the chase, and after missing that race last week, it looks like you're kind of, setting the right foot forward going into the chase. I think if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to be a championship contender. You think you have a chance to win there next week in Indianapolis?
Yeah, I think I got a pretty good shot. I won the elite race there in the Xfinity cars and had some really good pace. I've always enjoyed racing at Indianapolis, and I'm sure I'll have some. It'll be a little cooler racing on Indy Monday after the Indy 500 on Sunday, so I'll get in there, get some practice laps in. I just want to try and have like at least a 20-point buffer before Daytona. I think we should be fine, but you can never really count on anything happening in racing. And as you can see tonight, it's not like we had a poor result, but considering how I ran, it feels like a poor result.
Gotcha. Well, Tate, you gave your shout-outs already, so good luck the rest of the way, man. It's always good to talk to you, and hopefully we see you again next week.
Sounds good. We'll just do what we can. Shout out to Cam for winning there. He was probably second there on the long run speed, and he's always a good guy. Always glad to see him win, but bummed that it happened the way it did tonight. But thank you guys for watching us, and we'll see you next time.
Of course, man. Thank you, Tate. All right, quick run to Matthew Bayuk for one quick thing. Bayuk, what's up?
Oh, do I get to say hi?
You do get to say hi.
Oh, hey.
4th place.
Okay, they don't usually interview 4th place for those watching. They're making this special for me. I want to shout out my grandparents for watching. I was trying to get top 3 so I could get a legit, top 3 interview. But I just want to thank my parents and my grandparents for watching. It's super special. Thank you guys for watching every week.
Matthew Bayuk, eventually we'll get him in there for the real top 3 because he's been right on the cusp of it. I think he's got 2 fourths in the last couple of weeks. So now let's bring in the pole sitter and the runner-up finisher, Austin Beers. Austin, congratulations on the good run, first of all. And I know you sent it in there late, but did you think maybe you were going to be able to get after him?
I was trying. It's just when Cooper got loose underneath me, I kind of moved up and lost some time to the 47 there. But I'll take a second. I mean, I had no expectations coming in this race. I didn't even know if I was gonna make it tonight. So to get the pole somehow and then run second, I'm pretty proud of the effort.
Yeah, and you said early in the race when we interviewed you after you dodged that wreck that you liked your car and the short run speed, and this race came down to that short run speed. Do you think that kind of played a part in your moving up to second tonight?
Yeah, definitely. Those last restarts really helped. When everybody got those fresh tires and we're all pretty equal there and didn't have to save and it was just go go go. It definitely kind of played in my wheelhouse, I would say. So yeah, definitely the end played in my wheelhouse. So it was a pretty good race.
Yeah, man. And are we gonna see going forward? How many races are we gonna get with you?
I don't know. I kind of pick and choose. So it's up in the air whenever I come in here.
Gotcha. Well, you got any shout outs for us before we send you off tonight?
Vincent Isabella's foot because he got ran over at the mod race this weekend. So I'll take his big toe, and then everybody from, I don't know the team name, Apex Sim Racing. I think that's them.
Yep.
Yeah, I was with them tonight. They were a fun group to be with. Unfortunately, half of them got wrecked. So I guess I'm bad luck for over there. But it was a fun race, and I like coming over here and racing with ERSCA. It's a very competitive and fun league.
Gotcha, man. Well, congratulations, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yep, thanks. Hi, Carlos.
Austin Beers, the runner-up finisher. Let me go grab Cameron Rich. Cameron Rich, David in the booth. You got me?
Hey, David, what's up?
Hey, man. Congratulations on the win. Kind of fell in your lap right there. Tell us how you made that pass on Cooper Johnson and, whether you were praying for it to kind of fall like that.
Yeah, I definitely was kind of a cheesy win. I didn't have top, like 1 or 2 speed. I probably could have finished, a lot of heavy hitters got wrecked out in that early wreck, Lutz and Guami and some others. So honestly, I think if all things would have just gone green, I would have probably finished about 5th or 6th. But yeah, I think Cooper had some old tires on that restart. I think I just was able to get him because of that. The 64 almost got me there, 3 and 4. I think he actually kind of tapped me a little bit. It was actually kind of nice though. It made the car turn a little bit, got me through the corner without sliding up on the wall or on the exit. It was a really fun race though. I mean, really hard to pass. It was kind of frustratingly hard to pass there, at least in the beginning. No matter what you do, you had to pass a lot through Congress to get around the car in front of you.
Well, Cameron, one question I did have was, were you guys kind of worried about when you, Tate, Nick, and Joe Francis stayed out and the rest of the field pitted behind you and they were starting to pass you? Were you worried that it would just go green the rest of the way and you wouldn't be able to take advantage of fresher tires?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, that caution that came up for that just really was... I was not too happy about it. It seemed like every caution came out just at the worst possible time to hurt the 47 car. But it ended up pretty all right. It actually wasn't too long a run. It was like 10 laps or so, 10, 15 laps that we got in the tires, and they weren't too bad actually. So I don't know. I figured it was going to come down to one of those 3, me, Tate, or Nick at the end, and quite honestly, I just let Nick go there. Like 20 to go because he was faster than me. I thought he'd go down and try to run Tate down, and really, yeah, I only won because of them late cautions and kind of, it's kind of like a modern NASCAR win, I guess, where you just kind of right place at the right time. But there have been races this year where I probably should have won too that didn't go my way. So I mean, I'll take it.
Gotcha. Well, Cameron, that this win, the second win of your season, pretty much locks you into the chase. So, Indy and Daytona, how's your mindset going in to try to maybe gain as many playoff points as possible?
Same old. Just try to, I'm trying to do what I can each week. I've made mistakes the last like 3 races or so. Michigan had a speed penalty running like 2nd place, and just. It was a really green race, so I couldn't do anything about that. A couple of them before just didn't go my way, but just trying to go out there and do what I can each race. We're not trying to do any R&D in the Kyle Hanshaw racing shop over here. Just trying to go out there and get some points.
Gotcha. Well, you got any shout-outs for us before we send you off tonight?
Oh, yes, sir. Of course, 3 TV as always. Carlos, I hope you picked me, and I hope I wasn't able to disappoint you this week.
So here's the thing. I know that you've been having some bad luck because I've been picking you. So I purposely didn't pick you so that you could have a good race, and it worked out.
Hey, okay. Well, yeah, Carlos did pick me, and I ended up all right. Well, hey. Of course, Belly Up Sports. You know, awesome sponsor as always. Harpoon Design. Everybody that makes this league go around. My team owner and teammate Kyle Hanshaw, being a super race admin and super team owner. Of course, my #1 fan, my fiance Caitlin. I love you. Thank you for watching. And it's pretty cool to win.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations on the win, Cameron, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. Cameron Rich, the race winner. And so, race 13 of the ERSCA season wraps up. Only 2 more races until the chase, guys.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. It'll be interesting to see exactly how the points come out after tonight, but I feel like it's still going to be a pretty close one to get those final few spots.
Yep. So with that, I think we're ready to sign off for the Harpoon Design 300. This has been a presentation by 3 Wide Television. I am David Westergreen, joined by Dom Santina, Carlos Acosta, for ERSCA, Belly Up Sports, 3 Wide TV. We'll see you next week.